Welcome to the Madison Motor Podcast. Today is Friday, December 1st, 2023. So we made it to December. All right, so we have Thursday Night Football recap. We have to do the picks for Sunday. College football, conference championship weekend. We got those picks for you. College basketball, NBA, NHL, soccer, golf. We'll recap Wednesday's episode of Survivor, news and notes, and then best bet and Fab 5 to close the show. All right, Thursday Night Football. Interesting game, entertaining game, and it was a game where the Dallas Cowboys did not play their best football, but got away with a 41-35 victory over the Seattle Seahawks to improve to 9-3 on the season. Seattle drops to 6-6. Dak Prescott was incredible, 29 of 41, 299 yards and 3 touchdowns. Geno, 23 of 41, 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Seattle's in deep trouble in the NFC, in my opinion. They're falling apart like a cliff, and I think the NFC is not a good conference outside of 3 teams pretty much, and those 3 teams are San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Dallas. And yes, I am willing to throw Dallas in there, even though they did not play their best today. And they finally get a win against a team that had a winning record going into the game. So Sunday slate will begin with a 1 o'clock game on CBS between the Colts and the Titans. AFC South clash by line as the Titans by 1.5, so 33 and the 20th. Obviously, no Jonathan Taylor, no Anthony Richardson. Maybe no Treylon Burks. We'll see about that. Big start for Will Levis. And we have the Colts giving 1.5 totals 42.5. So the pick I'm going to give out for here is the Titans plus the points and minus 102 outright. I think that this is a good spot for the Titans. Colts. Are the Colts really going to go 7-5? That'd be insane. Chargers Patriots on CBS. We talked about this game with James Elliston earlier. I project, yes, the New England Patriots is a 1.5 point favorite, total 42. And it's Chargers 5.5, total 40.5. I think the Chargers are the most overvalued team in the market, giving New England plus the 5.5. And I'm going to take it a step further. I think New England wins this game outright. They're plus 215 on the money line. All right, next up we have the Lions and the Saints on Fox. The Lions are projected by me as a 3.5 point road favorite, total 45 and 3/5. A lot of injuries for both sides. They're given 4.5. Detroit is total 46.5. Very, very close. So slight lean to New Orleans as the pick there. Next up on Fox, Falcons Jets. I think this is the 3rd consecutive week where Kenny Albert calls one of the New York teams his football games. He had the Giants the last 2 weeks. Now he has the Jets this week. My line here is the Falcons by 2.5, total 38 and 9/20. And it's Falcons 1.5. I can't believe that line went down. I feel like that line was higher earlier in the week. Total 34. I like the over a lot. I know it's probably going to be Tim Boyle again. And by the way, if it's Zappy going for the Pats, this projection actually would be Chargers by 1.5 if it's Bailey Zappi. So it looks like that Zappi is starting, but I'm still going to stand by New England call for the spread, and who knows. The other thing is that Keenan Allen, Rashawn Slater, both questionable. Neither of them play. New England will end up as a favorite in my projections, even with Zappy. So sorry guys for the little bit of scrambling there. Next Steelers. That game is on CBS. My line is Pittsburgh by a whopping 13, total 39 and 11/20. And it's 5.5 and 41.5. I love the Steelers. I mean, I know they've played down the competition and they've played up the competition, but they should win this game by a touchdown or more. So I'm going to lay the points with the Steelers. Next up on Fox, Dolphins Commanders. My line is the Dolphins by 6.5, total 51 and 13/20. And it's 9.5 and 49.5. I'm going to take the Commanders plus the 9.5. The Dolphins have some injury problems right now. We don't know if Achane is going to play. Their line's not healthy. And the Dolphins are just due to get picked off or come close, right? The Commanders tend to come close, pulling off an upset every year, if not pull one outright. It's usually against Dallas or Philadelphia. But they did almost do it against Philly, so I guess that was it. But they usually do one at home, too, and I think this could be it. I'm going to take the plus 9.5 with Washington here. Broncos-Texans. Fabulous game. 1 o'clock on CBS. This is probably the marquee game of the 1 o'clock window. My line is Houston by 3, total 46 in the quarter. And it's 3.5 and 47.5. Very, very nip-tuck tight numbers, but the slight under is the pick here. Texans have some injuries on offense, and Denver's defense is playing better lately. 4 o'clock window now on CBS. You have the Panthers and the Buccaneers. That's surprising that this is a 4 o'clock game. Mine's Bucks by 10, total 41 and a 20th. If it's no Baker, then it's 7. And it's 5.5 and 36.5. This is a hard one to evaluate, to a 4.5 point edge on the Buccaneers and an over 4.5 point edge on the over. So I'm going to take the over, which I think is a smarter play. Next up is Browns-Rams on Fox. My line is the Rams by 4.5, total 41 and 11/20. And it's 3.5 and 39.5. I'll gladly take the over. The Browns' defense has kind of regressed over the last couple weeks, and that team's kind of just falling apart without Watson. So I'll ride the over there. And in the game of the week, the NFC Championship game rematch and potentially a preview of what's to come. 49ers, Eagles from Philadelphia. My line is the Eagles by 6, total 47 and 3/20. And it's San Francisco giving 2.5, total 47.5. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles plus the points and plus 124 outright. I know Philly has some injuries right now. They're not healthy. And that's why San Francisco's favored. And I think the narrative is that the Eagles are finding ways to win games, and they're not as good as they were last year. And the 49ers are the best team in the league. I think that's what the narrative is, so I understand why San Francisco has a minus next to them. And last but not least, on Sunday Night Football, 8:20 Chiefs-Packers. Mine's the Chiefs by 3.5, total 40 and 3/5. And it's 6 and 42.5. I'm taking the Packers plus the 6. Me and James talked about it earlier. James likes them outright. I don't know if I want to go that far because it's just tough to go against Patrick Mahomes straight up. I know it's a night game on the road, and I just think it's safer to go with the spread here. So give me the Packers plus the 6 against the Chiefs. Okay. Now move on to college football. Obviously, the slate is not as big as it usually is because it is conference championship weekend. So we have 2 games tonight and then the rest are tomorrow. So, to kick things off, 7 o'clock on CBS Sports Network tonight. New Mexico State, number 24, Liberty. Liberty's home. My line is Liberty 10.5, total 54 and 17/20. And we have 10.5 and 56.5. Slight under. You won't see that bet in the Fab Five. And then tonight, 8 o'clock, ABC. Number 5, Oregon. Number 3, Washington. The winner of this game is for certain going to the college football playoff. This game's being played in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. My line is Washington minus 2.5, total 61 and a 10th. And Oregon is ridiculously a 9.5 point favorite, total 65.5. I'm taking Washington plus a 9.5 and plus 280 outright. I think it's disrespectful to Washington. Everyone just thinks Oregon's the far superior team. I think they're superior, but I think it's disrespectful to Washington. And a bonus prediction: the winner of this game will win the Heisman Trophy because 3 losses is too much for Jaden Daniels. For me, even though I think he's the better quarterback between the 3. Now we move on to Saturday, 12 o'clock on ABC. Number 18, Oklahoma State at number 7, Texas from AT&T Stadium. My line is Texas 5.5, total 54, 19/20, and it is 14.5 and 54.5. I'm going to take Oklahoma State plus the points. I think that Mike Gundy's going to have his team hanging around. A lot of pressure on Texas to win this game. And I mean a ton of pressure. And they're under a ton of pressure to win big. And I don't know if they'll win big, but I think they'll do just enough. So I'm going to take OK State plus the points, but I do expect Texas to win. All right, on ESPN, the MAC Championship. Miami of Ohio against Toledo at Ford Field. My line's Toledo 11, total 49 and 13/20, and it is 7.5 and 43.5. I love the over in this game. That's very low for MAC, so give me the over. 3 o'clock on Fox, the Mountain West title game. Boise State, UNLV from Allegiant Stadium. UNLV plays there. My line's UNLV by 13, total 59 and a 10th, and Boise's giving 2.5, total 58.5. The favoritism towards Boise is just ridiculous. I've been betting against Boise for weeks now, especially in Fab 5. I'm doing it again. UNLV's home, and they've been the better team this season. And I know they're in this game, even though they lost last week. But we sometimes see this in the NCAA tournament when the team that doesn't deserve to be there, quote-unquote, gets a win. I feel like that's going to be that scenario for UNLV here, and I think that the disrespect for UNLV here is real. I think the Rebels went outright. They've had an amazing year. All right, here we go. The SEC title game, 4 o'clock, CBS. Number 1, Georgia. Number 8, Alabama from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. My line is Georgia 3.5, total 54 and 11/20. And it is 5.5 and 54.5. I'm taking Alabama plus the points. I think that they are getting better by the week. I think that Jalen Milroe has been amazing. And you could argue that he's every bit as good as Carson Beck. And I think that he is also a sleeper to win the Heisman, potentially, if they win this game outright. So keep that in mind. Let's say that the Pac-12 title game's a dud, sort of, and neither quarterback plays well. And I know Ewers has been hurt all year. Not all year, but for some of the year, so he's out. And obviously, Jaden Daniels, 3 losses, to me, shouldn't win. So Jalen Milroe, dark horse Heisman guy coming into the weekend. That's just throwing that one out there. I think Bama has a chance to win outright, but let's be honest. They're only making the college football playoff if Texas loses and they win. All right, next up we have on ABC, SMU at number 22, Tulane. My line here is Tulane 11, total 52 and 17/20. And it's only 3.5 and 47.5. I'm going to lay the points with Tulane. Tulane's been disrespected the last several weeks. I bet on them last week, and they came through for me, and I'm going to do it again here, so I'm going to lay the points. ESPN Sunbelt title game, App State, Troy, minus Troy by 9, total 54, 9/20, and it's 5.5 and 52.5. I'm going to lay the 5.5 with Troy. They're the better defensive team, although App State, you could argue, is a better offensive team, although, if I'm not mistaken, their quarterback's hurt. So I do like Troy minus the points. All right, here's a big one. 8 o'clock on Fox. Number 2, Michigan. Number 16, Iowa. I think Michigan is safe, even if they lose this game somehow. I project Michigan only by 6.5, though, total 39 in the 20th, and it's 21.5 and 34.5. I'm going to take Iowa plus the points to keep it competitive for a couple of quarters. And that game's obviously being played at Lucas Oil. And last but not least, from Charlotte at Bank of America Stadium, number 14, Louisville. Number 4, Florida State. Obviously, no Jordan Travis is a big deal. My line is Florida State only by 2, total 54 and 3/10, and it's 2.5 and 47.5. I like the over, even with the backup quarterback for Florida State. Louisville's a really good offensive team. I don't think Florida State's defense is that great. I've seen them struggle against teams like Boston College this year, so I like the over in that game a lot, and I think that Louisville outright is a good call. It's plus 104. And my predictions on how the end will play out. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Michigan. Number 3 will be Oregon or Washington. Let's say Washington pulls off the upset. And then Texas will play Georgia, and they'll be the 4. And then, Georgia, I'm going to say, beats Alabama. And then number 5 is going to be Ohio State. And then 6 will be Oregon, 7 Bama, and so forth. Florida State's going to be 8 without Jordan Travis because they're going to lose to the defense. Okay. Now we'll go over the college basketball from last night and look ahead to all the college basketball for tonight, and then go over some of the big matchups for the weekend. Omaha over Belouve, 78-59. Number 13 FA over Liberty, 83-58. Butler over Texas Tech, 103-95 in OT. Kent State over Shawnee State, 103-61. Longwood over Apprentice, 95-46. Jacksonville State over South Alabama, 70-52. Alon over Warren Wilson, 127-56. Fordham over Fairleigh Dickinson, 80-52. East Carolina over UNC Wilmington, 74-66. Coppin State over UMBC, 89-70. Minnesota over New Orleans, 97-64. Hofstra over South Florida, 82-63. New Hampshire over Sacred Heart, 90-84. Number 25 Oklahoma over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 107-86. Illinois State over UIC, 69-64. Delaware State over Chicago State, 76-69. Western Illinois over Hannibal, 92-40. Rice over Tennessee Martin, 98-78. North Alabama over Tennessee Tech, 86-71. UMKC over Southeast Missouri, 74-44. Sanford over Louisiana, 88-65. Number 15 Creighton over Oklahoma State, 79-65. Number 16 Texas over Texas State, 77-58. Utah over Hawaii, 79-66. UTSA over Lamar, 86-83. Rocky Mountain upsets Montana State, 70-69. Wow. Oregon State over UC Davis, 71-59. And UCLA over UC Riverside, 66-65. All right, today's games, 12 o'clock. You have Carolina Christian and Queens. We could skip that. 5 o'clock in the evening, St. Thomas against Western Michigan. My line is Western Michigan by 20. And it is Pick'em and 133.5. I'm taking Western Michigan in the Pick'em. Sunny, Maritime and Army we can skip. 6 o'clock Charleston, Liberty. My line's Charleston 8.5, and it's Liberty 6.5. Total 146.5. Oof. Give me Charleston plus the points and plus 220 outright. 6:30 on Fox Sports 1. Number 6 Houston at Xavier. My line is Houston 14.5, and it's 9.5 and 138.5. I'll lay the points. Johnson, UNC Asheville, and William P. Stevens at Greensboro. We could skip those. Big Ten game, Maryland and Indiana, 7 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. My line is Indy by 1. And it is Indy. I don't see it. All right, Indy by 3.5. Total 137.5. I'll take Maryland plus the points. Mercer, Georgia. My line is Georgia 16. It is 13.5 and 139.5. I'll lay the points. Rider, Siena. My line is Rider by 9. And it's 3.5 and 132.5. I'll lay the points. St. Peter's, Niagara. My line's Niagara 2.5. And it is Niagara 1.5. Total 124.5. I'll take the over. Mount St. Mary's in Manhattan. My line is Mount St. Mary's by 3. And it's 3.5 and 135.5. I'll take the over. Iona Fairfield. My line is Iona 4.5. It's 3.5 and 146.5. I'll take over too, but I don't feel good about it. Quinnipiac, Canisius. Mine's Quinnipiac by 3. And it's Canisius 3.5 total 159.5. I'll take Quinnipiac plus the points and plus 144 outright. Lake Superior State, Eastern Michigan, we can skip. George Washington, South Carolina. My line is George Washington 5.5. And it is South Carolina 8.5, total 159.5. Give me George Washington plus the points and plus 340 outright. Bryant Brown. My line is Bryant 8.5. And it's Brown 4.5, total 146.5. Give me Bryant plus the points and 172 outright. Norfolk State, VCU. Mine's VCU 21.5. And it's 13.5 and 136.5. I'll lay the points. Incarnate Word, Bethune. My line is Bethune 3.5. And it's Incarnate Word 1.5, total 148.5. I'll take Bethune plus the points and even money outright. On ESPN 2, St. John's, West Virginia. My line is St. John's 1.5. And it's 5.5 and 147. I'll give me West Virginia to cover 5.5. Arkansas State and Little Rock at 7:30. My line is Little Rock 8.5. And it's 1.5 and 159.5. I'll lay the points. 8 o'clock, Southern Miss, UAB. My line's UAB 18.5. And it's 9.5 and 143.5. I'll lay the points. Hampton, Maryland Eastern Shore got postponed. South Dakota State, Towson. My line is South Dakota State by 2. Oh, it looks like this game's on a neutral. So it should be 5. Yes, I didn't realize this game was in South Dakota. Whoopsie. So South Dakota State I have, as a 5-point favorite, it's 5.5 and 131.5. I will take the over. Southeast Louisiana, LSU. My line is LSU 5.5. It's 13.5 and 145.5. I'll take the points. SIU, Edwardsville, and Troy. My line's Edwardsville 11. And it is Troy 4.5 to 143.5. I'll take Edwardsville plus the points and 164 outright. 8:30 Fox Sports 1, Iowa State DePaul. My line is Iowa State by 14. It's 14.5, 138.5. I'll take the over. 9 o'clock, Big Ten Network number 1, Purdue Northwestern. My line's Purdue 11. It's 7.5, 136.5. I'll lay 7.5 on the road with Purdue. ESPN 2, number 4 UConn, number 5 Kansas from Fog Allen Fieldhouse. My line's Kansas 6.5. And it's only 2.5 totals, 148. So let me just make sure it's at Fog Allen. Yep. So lay the short number at home with Kansas. Fresno State, number 19, BYU. My line's BYU 20.5. And BYU is giving 14.5. Total is 142.5. I'll lay the points. North Dakota Fullerton. My line is North Dakota by 3. And it's Fullerton by 4.5 total, 141.5. I'll take North Dakota plus the points and 168 outright. Wyoming Portland. Mine's Portland 15.5 and it's 2.5, 149.5. I'll lay with Portland. 10 o'clock, San Diego State, UC San Diego. My line, San Diego State 21.5. It's 14.5, 142.5. I'll lay the points. Last but not least, Boise State, St. Mary's on Fox Sports 1 at 10:30. My line, St. Mary's by 12.5. And it is 3.5 and 130.5. I will lay the points with St. Mary's. Okay, NBA. Or not NBA. Sorry. Weekend. First, just the big matchups this weekend between ranked teams. All right. Saturday, 12 o'clock, CW Network, Notre Dame, number 8, Miami. 12:30 on Fox, number 3, Marquette, Wisconsin. 2 o'clock, Florida State, number 17, North Carolina. 2 o'clock, Drexel, number 18, Villanova. 2:15, number 7, Duke, Georgia Tech. 3 o'clock, Pac-12 Network, Colgate, number 2, Arizona. 4 o'clock, SEC Network, UT Wilmington, number 12, Kentucky. 4 o'clock, Big Ten Network, number 24, Illinois, Rutgers. 6 o'clock, Northwestern State, number 9, Baylor. ESPNU, Charleston, number 13, FAU. 7 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, number 20, Colorado State, and Washington. And number 11, Gonzaga, hosts USC at 10 o'clock on ESPN from MGM Grand. And at Sunday, 1 o'clock, Keystone, number 22, James Madison. 4 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, number 15, Creighton, Nebraska. And 4 o'clock on the SEC Network Southern, number 21, Mississippi State. Now we move on to the NBA. We will go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. Blazers over to Cavs, 103-95. Hornets over to Nets, 129-128. Heat over to Pacers, 142-132. Knicks over to Pistons, 118-112. Bulls over to Bucks, 120-113 in OT. Timberwolves over to Jazz, 101-90. Thunder over to Lakers, 133-110. Hawks over to Spurs, 137-135. And the Warriors over to Clippers, 120-114. All right, tonight at 7 o'clock, you have the Wizards and the Magic. Mine's the Magic 12 and a quarter, total 231 and 13/20. And it is 11 and 237.5. Under. 7:30. ESPN. Sixers, Celtics. But Celtics 4.5. Total 227 and 4/5. The 6.5 and 222.5. Over. Knicks, Raptors. My line is Knicks by only 3/4. Total 223 and 3/20. It's Raptors by 2. Total 216. Over. Grizzlies, Mavericks. My line is the Mavs 7.5. Total 227 and 19/20. And it is 10 and 228.5. I'll take the Grizzlies getting the points. 8 o'clock, Spurs, Pelicans. Minus Pelicans 12.5. Total 239 and 7/10. And it's 13 and 232.5. Over. And last but not least, 10 o'clock, ESPN, Nuggets, Suns. My line's Nuggets by 2. Total 226 and 3/4. And it's 2.5 and 224. I like the over for that game as well. All right, we have game Saturday, but not Sunday. 4 o'clock, Warriors, Clippers. 5 o'clock, Timberwolves, Hornets. 7 o'clock, Magic, Nets, Cavs, Pistons. 8 o'clock, Pacers, Heat. Pelicans, Bulls. Hawks, Bucks. 9 o'clock, Thunder, Mavs. Grizzlies, Suns. 9:30, Blazers, Jazz. 10 o'clock, NBA TV. Nuggets, Kings. And 10:30 of the Rockets and the Lakers. Now I'll move on to the NHL. We will go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. Bruins over the Sharks 3-0. Leafs over the Kraken 4-3 shootout. Panthers over the Habs 5-1. Red Wings over the Blackhawks 5-1. Pens over the Lightning 4-2. Devils over the Flyers 4-3 OT. Isles over the Canes 5-4 OT. Blues over the Sabres 6-4. Wild over the Preds 6-1. Oilers over the Jets 3-1. Flames over the Stars 4-3 OT. Coyotes over the Avs 4-3 OT. Golden Knights over the Ducks 4-1. And Caps over the Ducks 5-4. All right. Only a couple games tonight, 7 o'clock on the NHL Network. Sharks, Devils from New Jersey. New Jersey absolutely has to have this game. They're favored, minus 420. Sharks plus 320, over under 6.5. Overs minus 124, unders plus 102. Sharks plus 1.5 is plus 138. Devils minus 1.5 is minus 166. I'm going to go with under 6.5 at plus 102. And Sens Blue Jackets, my line. All right. I don't project lines in hockey. I wish I did. But FanDuel, Ottawa minus 144, Columbus plus 120, over under 6.5. Overs minus 134, unders plus 110. Ottawa minus 1.5 is plus 58. Jackets plus 1.5 is minus 192. I'm going to go Columbus outright plus 120. I think the Jackets are due. Or Saturday, 2 o'clock, NHL Network, Lightning Stars. 3 o'clock, Blackhawks Jets. 4 o'clock, Rangers Preds. 6 o'clock, Isles Panthers. 7 o'clock, NHL Network, Bruins Leafs. Red Wings Habs. Kraken Sens. Flyers Pens. Sabres Canes. 9 o'clock, Blues Coyotes. 10 o'clock, Canucks Flames. Caps Golden Knights. And Avs Ducks. Sunday, 2 o'clock, NHL Network, Blackhawks Wild. 6 o'clock, NHL Network, Sharks Rangers. 7 o'clock, Blue Jackets Bruins. Preds Sabres. And 8 o'clock, you have the Avalanche against the Kings. Now we will recap the soccer games from yesterday and look ahead to the Noble Soccer coming up. All right, Europa League, West Ham over TSCBT 1-0. Sparta over Betis 1-0. Rennes over Maccabi Haifa 3-0. Racal over Sturm Graz 1-0. Freiburg over Olympiacos 5-0. Atalanta Sporting 1-1 draw. Brighton over AK Athens 1-0. Leverkusen over BK Hacken 2-0. Servette AS Roma 1-1 draw. Rangers Limassol 1-1 draw. Molde FK Karabag 2-2 draw. Marseille over Ajax 4-3. Liverpool over Las Glins 4-0. Slavia Peru over Sheriff 3-2. Toulouse Union SG 0-0 draw. Villarreal over Panathinaikos 3-2. Conference League, Club Brugge over Besiktas 5-0. Lille over Olimpija 2-0. Aston Villa over Legia Warsaw 2-1. And PAOK over Frankfurt 2-1. All right, women's friendly, Brazil over Japan 4-3. Liga MX, Puebla Tigres 2-2 draw. And Guadalajara over Yunnan 1-0. So I was wrong about best bet. All right, this weekend we have second legs, 8 o'clock on Saturday night, America and Leon tied on aggregate, and then 10 o'clock Monterrey and Athletic St. Louis. Athletic St. Louis leads 1-0 on aggregate, and then Sunday, 7 o'clock, UNAM and Guadalajara. Guadalajara leads 1-0 on aggregate, and then Tigres Puebla at 9 o'clock on Sunday, tied at aggregate. All right, the Premier League, Saturday, 10 o'clock, Arsenal Wolves, Brentford Luton, Burnley Sheffield United, 12:30 Nottingham Forest Everton, and 3 o'clock Newcastle Man United. And then Sunday, Bournemouth, Aston Villa at 9, Chelsea Brighton, Liverpool Fulham, West Ham Crystal Palace 11:30, Man City and Tottenham. All right, Bundesliga today, 2:30 Darmstadt and Cologne. Saturday, 9:30 Bayern Munich Berlin, Gladbach Hoffenheim, RB Leipzig Heidenheim, Bochum Wolfsburg, and 12:30 Stuttgart Bremen. Sunday, 9:30 Mainz Freiburg, 11:30 Leverkusen Dortmund, and 1:30 Augsburg Frankfurt. And then La Liga today, 3 o'clock, Las Palmas Getafe. Tomorrow, Girona Valencia at 8, 10:15 Atletico Real, 12:30 Real Madrid Granada, and 3 o'clock Osasuna Real Sociedad. And then Sunday, 8 o'clock Mallorca Alvarez, 10:15 Almeria Betis, 12:30 Sevilla Villarreal, and 3 o'clock Barcelona and Atletico. And in La Liga is a game on Monday. We got to remember that. Serie A, 2:45 today. Monza and Juventus. Saturday, 9 o'clock Genoa Empoli, 12 o'clock Lazio Cagliari, 2:45 Milan Frosinone. And Sunday morning, 6:30 Lecce Bologna, 9 o'clock Fiorentina Salernitana. Udinese Verona, 12 o'clock Sassuolo AS Roma, and 2:45 Napoli Inter Milan. And then Monday afternoon, that league plays. And then French League 1 today, 3 o'clock Reims in Strasbourg. Saturday, 11 o'clock Lens Lyon, 3 o'clock Nantes and Nice. And then Sunday, 7 a.m. Le Havre AZ PSG, 9 o'clock Monaco Montpellier, Brest Clermont Foot, Toulouse Lorient, 11 o'clock Lille Metz, and then 2:45 Marseille and Rennes. ELC, say 3 o'clock Preston QPR. Saturday, 7:30 West Brom Leicester, Birmingham Rotherham, Hull Watford, Ipswich Coventry, Leeds Borough, Millwall Sunderland, Plymouth Stoke, Sheffield Wednesday Blackburn, Southampton Cardiff, and Swansea and Huddersfield. And then 8:30 you have Bristol City and Norwich City on Sunday morning. And then Dutch Eredivisie, 2 o'clock today, Heerenveen and Almere City. Saturday, FC Volendam, PC Zwolle at 12:45, 2 o'clock Fortuna Vitesse, RKC Waldwick Excelsior, and then 3 o'clock Heracles and Sparta. And Sunday, 6:15 Feyenoord PSV, 8:30 Go Ahead Eagles FC Twente, 8:30 NEC Ajax, and 10:45 FC Utrecht and AZ Alkmaar. All right, last but not least, MLS. We have the semifinals. We'll do picks for this. 6 o'clock Cincinnati, Columbus. Obviously the Eastern Conference Final. Could have been the Union. And it could have been Orlando. So Cincinnati's plus 120, Columbus is plus 210, the draw is plus 230. I'm going to go with the draw plus 230. I think that's a close game. I'm going to say Cincy extra time potentially. And then 9:30 LAFC hosts Houston. AFC minus 170, Houston plus 420, the draw is 3-1. LAFC hot at the right time. Getting it together. I'm going over 2.5 goals at minus 110. I think we'll have a Cincinnati LAFC final. Although we were very close to having a rematch, and it probably should have been a rematch between the Union and LAFC, and I feel like that's what most soccer fans would have wanted. Okay, now I'll move on to golf. We'll go over the current leaderboard for the Hero World Challenge. Tied for first right now with 500, Tony Finau and Brian Harman. Third with 4 under is Jordan Spieth. Tied for fourth with 3 under. Cam Young, Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa, Max Homa. Tied for 8th with 2 under. Matt Fitzpatrick, Justin Thomas. Tied for 10th with 1 under. Jason Day, Sam Burns, Lucas Glover. Tied for 13th at even. Seb Straka, Keegan Bradley, Justin Rose. 16th with 1 over is Victor Hoven. 17th with 2 overs, Ricky Fowler. 18th with 3 overs, Tiger. 19th with 4 overs, Wyndham Clark. And Will Zalatoris in a distant 20th with 9 over. We don't have time for Survivor. We'll save that for Monday. News and notes. We're going to do this rapid fire as well. Winter meeting starts on Monday. I'd like to get Julian Gilardi on the show. Maybe this afternoon. If not this afternoon, then Monday. So the Orioles are targeting relievers. Josh Hader, Aroldis Chapman, and others. Hader would be amazing in Baltimore. So the Blue Jays are likely to move Bo Bichette and Vlad Guerrero Jr. if the team lands Shohei Ohtani. That makes no sense. Then he's right back in the same situation he was in Anaheim, except pitching. LeBron said to his teammates that he'll miss a Lakers game to attend his son's first college game, which makes sense. He wants to be there for Bronny after what he went through. And then he will resume practice next week after the cardiac arrest. That is great news for Bronny. Tristan Jarry of the Penguins scored a goal, which was incredible. You don't see that often. There was a fight in the Sharks-Bruins game. Trent Frederick and Giovanni Smith. Corey Perry released a statement after being waived by the Blackhawks. That's not surprising, and pretty much saying whatever he did was wrong, but denied the social media rumor about him and not McDavid, Bedard's mom. The Mets are signing Vladdy Guerrero, who is Vladdy Jr.'s brother and Vladimir Guerrero's son, to a contract worth $120,000. So that's just I don't think that he'll be as good as either his brother or his dad. All right, so Von Miller got arrested, or there was a warrant issued for Von Miller as he was facing arrest after allegedly assaulting his pregnant girlfriend. That is awful. And then Von Miller turned himself in later on, apparently. So that's not great for the Buffalo Bills. And obviously he's going to get suspended, you would think. That's awful what he did. Yikes. So we saw our first ever Monday Night Football flex. Chiefs Patriots out week 15, and in comes Eagles Seahawks, which is a better game. And it will hopefully be a good game. And in week 15, 3 Saturday NFL games announced. Vikings Bengals, Steelers Colts, and Broncos Lions. The best game of those 3 is probably Broncos Lions. Vikings Bengals would have been if Cousins and Burrow were healthy, but they're not. Broncos Lions is now the best game. Steelers Colts is probably a better game than we thought it would have been before the year, considering that we didn't think much of the Colts. Amari Cooper likely to play against the Browns. That's good for them. Aaron Rodgers not close to playing, but says anything's possible when it comes to his recovery. How about this? Jabril Peppers, the former Giant. He goes, "You lucky we ass." He says that to Saquon Barkley after the Pats lost to the Giants. Yikes. Utah State quarterback to Navy SEALs, as he'll be skipping his senior season to apply for military training. That's not great for Utah State. They need a new quarterback. I mean, for football purposes, but that's obviously an interesting thing what he's doing. But they just have to replace him now. We'll see what happens there with the transfer portal. Nick Saban advocates for the SEC in the playoffs. He says if it's not Georgia, then it should be us. Pelicans big Larry Nance Jr. out 4 to 6 weeks with the right rib fracture. That's not good for New Orleans. The Bears have discussed Jim Harbaugh as they've talked about hiring him if it decides to fire Matt Eberflus. Sad news. The Cardinals release Zach Ertz as Trey McBride's got some playing time there, and J.J. Watt says that Ertz plans to sign with a contender. Would he go back to Philly? That'd be kind of a cool story if he went back there. Who'd be a good fit for him? Houston. It'd be him and Dalton Schultz at tight end. Trying to find the team for him. Bills head coach Sean McDermott is not on the hot seat. 0 chance of being fired during the season. But I do think it's an over 0% chance he's fired after the season. Especially if they don't make the postseason. And the Von Miller thing certainly doesn't help his cause. Yikes. Memphis signee pleads guilty. Mikey Williams. He pled guilty to 1 count of making criminal threats in connection to a March shooting at his home. Yikes. That's not great. Oh my goodness. Oregon State quarterback DJ Uiagalelei, the transfer. Again? Oh my God. Who wants him? We know what he was at Clemson. I mean, he showed promise this year at Oregon State, but we know what he is. He's not a superstar. And then UCLA 5-star freshman quarterback Dante Moore enters the portal too. That's not great for the Bruins at all. Best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. There's a couple that jumped out to me in each sport. And the one that I am going to take the stab at here is let's do the under 237.5 in the Wizards Magic, only because the Magic defense is really good. I'm going to do a quarter unit on this one, so under 237.5 between the Wizards and the Magic for my best bet of the day. All right, now we'll do the Fab Five. We'll start in college football because it's the last weekend before Army-Navy and all the bowls. Okay, first pick right out of the gate, I'm taking Washington plus the 9.5. I'm doing 1/10 of a unit per pick. I just think that Washington's going to be competitive, and I don't see the Ducks winning by double digits. Disrespectful to Washington. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder. They'll cover that number. And this is the rare exception where I do Friday games on Fab 5. Next up, I'll take UNLV plus the 2.5 at home against Boise. Boise's overrated. I've been saying it all year long. I know they've been better under their intern coach, but UNLV's the better team, and they're home. I'm taking UNLV plus the points. Pick number 3, I am going to take the over 43.5 in Miami and Toledo. I just think that that's a low total for a MAC championship game. Pick number 4, I'm going to go back to the well. I'm going to lay 3.5 with Tulane against SMU. I just think that Tulane is being disrespected, and I think they're going to come out and put on a good performance. And then the last pick of the Fab Five, I am debating between a few. And I am going to settle on the over 47.5 in Louisville, Florida State. Only because I think that Texas is under a lot of pressure to blow out Oklahoma State, so I don't have the balls to pick Oklahoma State in the Fab Five. So instead, we'll go over 47.5 in Florida State, Louisville. I think Louisville's going to put up a lot of points, and I think Florida State could just do enough for the over. I feel like this could be 30-23 Louisville, and I think this game's going to be in the 50s. So give me the over. And the underdog pick of the week, I'm going to go big here, and I'm going to take the Washington Huskies at plus 280. They're being disrespected right now, obviously. So that's the obvious pick. Okay, the NFL Fab Five. Let's see if I go anywhere different than what I talked about with James earlier today. Or yesterday. So, NFL Fab Five. Pick number 1. I'm taking the Patriots plus the 5.5 at home against the Chargers. I think that the Chargers are going to charger and find a way to either lose or come close to losing. Pick number 2 of the Fab Five, I am actually going to take the over 36.5 in the Panthers-Bucks game, only because I think that the new coach theory might work with Carolina for a week, and let's bank on Baker playing, and I think that both these teams can get to the 20s, so I like over 36.5 in Bucks-Panthers, and both these defenses stink as well. Pick number 3, I'm going back to the well with a team that I haven't picked in a while in the Fab Five, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers, minus the 5.5 at home against the Cards. They're just better than the Cards, and they should win this game by a touchdown or more. The next pick of the Fab Five, I am going to go with the Green Bay Packers plus the 6 against the Chiefs. I just think that Green Bay is going to keep this game close, and there's a chance they win outright, so I'll take the 6. And last but not least, I'm going to Monday night, and I'm going to lay 8.5 with the Jaguars against the Bengals. I just don't like this Bengals team without Joe Burrow, and they might not have T. Higgins either. Cam Taylor-Britt might be out as well. And I think the Jags are a team that wants to perform a little bit better than they did against the Texans, because the Texans probably should have beaten them last week. So I'm going to lay the 8.5. You could argue they should have beat them, but they didn't. But I'm going to lay the points of the Jags at home against the Bengals. And then my underdog pick of the week, I'm going to do it. Call me crazy. Call me insane. Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones. I don't care. Maybe Keenan Allen and Rashawn Slater don't play either. My underdog pick of the week to be the New England Patriots plus 215. against the Chargers. I mean, it's just fun to bet against Brandon Staley, and I went against the Chargers as the Packers went outright, and I had them as my underdog money line a few weeks ago, and I think this is the first time I'm going with the dog over 2-1 this year in the NFL. So I'm going to do it here. New England plus 215 at home against the Chargers to pull off the outright upset to hurt their chances of getting the number one pick in the draft. All right, so there you have it for today's show. I'll be back on Monday, recapping everything, looking at everything. Come Monday, maybe Julian Gilardi later in the afternoon. We'll see. If we don't get Julian today, we'll get him hopefully on Monday. Hope you guys have a great weekend, everyone.